So in 2010, I would say there's been three major outcome of the telecom business line for Inside. We have moved our product line into a new area with a product called Secure Read, which includes a secure element as part of the NFC component. That is a significant achievement that is currently being asked by one of our key customers. That is probably the second biggest achievement. Is we have now engaged with a very large customer planning on going commercial by next year. And the third achievement of this year has been the promotion of the open source strategy, on which we have put a lot of effort to bring the market to a level where acceptance of NFC would be simplified by having a common approach with open source. So the market for 2011 is, for the first time, I would say, in history, totally changing. I would say up until now, every single year for the past 4 years, we've revised forecasts down. This year, we are revising forecasts up. And the trend comes from a number of events, to be named a significant initiative from the US market and US carriers pushing for trials to be developed mid of 2011. A recent announcement from Orange announcing that phones with NFC capabilities will be available for purchase independent of availability of services, and this is definitely a key milestone, as you can purchase those phones. Whether you use NFC or not is a separate topic, but the point being that it will create an installed base of users that have NFC capabilities, and then progressively creating a potential for services. So the chicken and egg situation has definitely changed from a blocked situation to now purchasing NFC phone by default to make it available so that services can be built. So we see 2011 as definitely the turning point for the NFC activity and the first significant volumes. So regarding the business model, the never-ending question, I would say things are progressing, maturing. I wouldn't say that everything is totally solved. There are different initiatives. Let's say that except for payment, the rest is pretty much sorted, and carriers have found most of the time a model by which the SIM, or the UICC as so-called, is the place where they will host services and third parties will pay for this service. As for payment, it's still, I would say, in the definition, and there are differences by geographies, where in the US there has been this initiative to sort of create a consortium and have an autonomy around payment using Discover. But can that be replicated outside the US? Probably not. Europe will be different, in Asia as well. The only common thing that we can really hear on the market is UICC seems to be the place where carriers want to develop their services, and there will probably be a small debate, or let's call it even a little fight between carriers and manufacturers as to who will be providing the platform for service. Will it be the UICC or will it be the phone itself? And this is something to be watched very carefully in the coming months. So those key players you're talking about, I would name them as handset manufacturers or carriers. And as I just explained previously, their interests sometimes are diverging or competing. For instance, depending on what kind of manufacturers you are, you would be tempted to just respond to the requests from your customer and deliver phones. In some other cases, well-known brands will decide themselves to compete on services against the carriers themselves. And this is where the situation of who hosts the services, whether it's in the UICC, the SIM, or embedded into the phone, becomes a very critical element that today is at the center of a debate, and it's definitely not clear. There will be different attitude depending on brands, regions. But I would say that the service deployment is definitely driving the market for both, be it a carrier or a handset manufacturer. Both of them see an opportunity, and as usual, they will probably find ways of cooperation or co-opetition between the two. So, as I said at the very beginning, open source has been our strategy. We made an announcement in February 2010 in Barcelona about us publishing Open Nfc in open source under the Apache 2.0 license so that everybody could download it and use it. We did that on purpose, knowing that even competition could benefit from this investment that we've done. I guess this is so disruptive that we got this award from CART this last year, and really what it did, it changed the business model on embedded software in mobile phones. It used to be that every hardware vendor would provide his own code for like a driver to be able to use the silicon. And it would be a way to lock the supply of the hardware for this particular vendor. Now with this approach, actually we give our customers, the handset makers, the ability to be hardware independent. And that was a big turn into the ecosystem. In the later part of the year, what happened is that the industry as a whole understood that was the right thing to do. Android recently published in Gingerbread this first API that is open source. So we have really participated to creating this open source approach. Now what is available in Android version is only a first step. There will be a lot of evolutions to it. The APIs address at the moment very limited functions, but at least it is a starting point. And I would say that we have succeeded in avoiding proprietary features to reach the phone and protect individual vendors, but opening the game so that NFC becomes more open to everyone. So after having this award, what we anticipate is next year we should be promoting multi-sources and availability of phones with NFC independent of vendors with the same level of interoperability, hopefully.